Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, max out your savings. The more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on any smart bed with base. Limited time. Check it out at a Sleep Number store near you or at sleepnumber.com today.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Every Monday, we visit with Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Hit abuse.
This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense. Throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
Peter, man, what up?
You know, it just hit me today was the first time I realized at the start of each hour of your show, the guy singing is saying after further review.
Yeah.
Like, I'm embarrassed it's taken me this long. I thought it was just some old rock song. And then I actually listened to the lyrics today and paid attention. I was like, that makes sense. Okay.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Yeah. That's who I refer to as Mr. Toby Tomplay, and then Muse cranks it up because that's Toby Tomplay singing. He's the king of the earworm, by the way, PB. You ever need a jingle done? Something just lodge itself in someone's brain? Toby Tomplay. He's the guy.
Okay, well, then I need to hire him because it was like the saddest day ever when me and Doring were looking at each other at 8 a.m. to start SEC this morning. I'd be like, whose team feels worse about where they're at right now? Was it LSU or Florida? And we're like, it was like the Spider-Man meme, like pointed at each other. I was like, just, you know, a couple of weeks ago, he was dressed up like a pumpkin and life was good. And then life came at us fast.
It has to be LSU because LSU had expectation this year. Florida did not. Is that fair?
I disagree with a little bit because there was expectation of being fairly decent. Like, hey, the hope, the unknown of DJ Lagway, and hey, did Billy figure it out? And obviously he didn't. I can see that, especially after the Clemson win. You're like, all right, here we go, we're rolling. And after the Florida win, you're like, all right, we're fine. Even after the Ole Miss game, you're like, we could have gotten that. And then the wheels just, absolutely fell off. But 38-7, the bludgeoning that was, and when Mark Stoops has to basically claim Florida football on his tax receipt now. They have owned 4 of the last 5 years, and that used to be the most one-sided thing in football.
Well done. That's really well done. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. LSU, Bama. Okay, speak your piece. Whatever you want to say.
Blake Baker's got to stay in Baton Rouge. That's the one thing that you build around right now. I thought defensively they gave everything that they do. The fact that you kept, I think, a Heisman Trophy candidate, if not the winner, in that offense to just 20 points, despite gifting them good field position and holding them to 50 yards rushing, that was a damn strong thing, especially without Whit Weeks. And outside of that, I don't know what else to say. Offensively, it just... maybe want to throw up a little in my mouth once again.
I know. It was there. It was there for the taking. You're just a really bad offensive team. It's what it is. Hey, okay. I want to ask you about two coaches. I want to ask you about Lane Kiffin because I just saw this come into my inbox that Lane Kiffin is actually the odds-on favorite to be the next head coach of the New York Football Giants. This story, by the way, is up at louisianasports.net if you'd like to read it for free. But this would obviously be a reunion with Jackson Dart. So
Dart.
You know Lane. Do you think the NFL is something that could be in his future?
I think there was definitely the bromance there, and that was the first thing I thought when I saw that Brian Daboll had gotten let go. And then the next thing I did after I saw Brian Daboll got let go, and I go, wonder how much they were paying Brian Daboll in New York City or outside of New York City because it's not actually there to be the head coach of the Giants. And I saw it was $5 million a year, and I'm like, well, if he makes 9 now, probably going to get close to 12 to 14 with no matter what. Like, are you willing to give up? Let's say they pay him on the higher level, which I don't know if the Amaro family would. You willing to take like a half of your salary and a pay cut to go to the NFL? Like, I'm not quite sure if I buy that. Now, it's another negotiating tool that I'm sure he'll be able to use towards Ole Miss or wherever he decides to go. But I think Lane loves the college world and the trolling of that. To say that he's going to take $6 million less a year to go coach in the NFL, I'm not sure if I buy that.
Okay. I don't know what Lane Kiffin's druthers
Do you?
are. I have no idea.
Because he was good today. Like I hosted that show SEC Now Open Mic, and we took his answer on his press conference today. They're like, "Hey, obviously Florida, Ole Miss, what makes a good job?" And I thought he was I thought it was a very open and honest answer, Matt, when he was like, hey, it used to be about facilities and being a blue blood. And he goes, now it's what's your NIL? Like, how much money do you have? And he goes, go look at, basically he was talking about like the Dodgers and even like the NBA, like when you pay the salary cap or when you don't have a salary cap, you get the best players. And he's like, this thing changes week to week and year to year. So I did think it was interesting that he had an opportunity to commit to Ole Miss and he didn't. But the longer I started thinking about it, going, well, that's just bad negotiating. Like, I mean, just you keep it open. There's no reason to really get involved in it until right around the transfer portal opening in December. And hopefully, if you're a Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, you're still in the college football playoff at that time.
I think either way, Jimmy Sexton is going to make Lane Kiffin the highest paid coach in the country, wherever he goes. If it's at Ole Miss, if it's LSU, Florida, the Giants, he's going to make $14-15 million a year wherever it is next year.
And that's built on hype because the substance is Kirby Smart should be making that money, but that's also the hype of what Lane has. Like, that's why I'm so curious to see how this thing plays out. And I think Lane's done a great job, and he's in the media and whatnot. Let's not forget the fact that he went 9-3 with arguably the most talented roster in college football last year. So, like I want to tap the brakes on, expectations. And he talked about it today. Like, you can go from penthouse to the outhouse real damn quick. And of course, we know that here in the 225.
Yes. By the way, that point about Kiffin's roster last year, we made a lot here, PB, because it's actually comparable to what LSU did this year. Like, you went and invested the money, you have all the pros on your roster, and you came up short. So yes, I don't disagree with you. Peter Burns with us, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com. All right, the other coach I want to ask you about is Eli Drinkwitz, because that's another guy here who's gotten a lot of run and mentioned as a possibility, but he's 0-6 the last 2 seasons against ranked teams in the SEC. If this AI search is correct, he's 1-10 against top 10 teams, 7-17 at Missouri against ranked teams. Like, how good of a coach really is Eli Drinkwitz?
I think he's good. I think, and the reason why I say that is not just because of what the record, but when I talk to coaches in the mix, right, guys that I know that have been there, that know a lot more inside the football facilities around college football and not just the SEC, and I kind of take a look under the hood and go, hey, what's the story here? And I always ask that story. What's the story? Because I kind of want to hear it and not bias the question, like, how good of a coach is this guy or whatnot? Like, I just want to see what they say. And top to bottom, I always get like the same feeling in people answering it that this guy is criminally underrated as a coach. And then so I go, okay, well, if he's criminally underrated, how is he 0-6, right? And then the idea is the same thing that we talked about with Brian Kelly. Well, if you got him the athletes, what can you do? The difference is I think Brian Kelly was at the end of that career and the passion was not there, and it was more of a pet project and a parachute deal than a guy that still has hunger and wants to poke the bear. And I think that's what you get with Drink. And if Drink did decide that he was going to leave Missouri to keep him with Blake Baker, going back to full circle, that's a good 1-2 punch that I think is as good as anything that you're going to find out there.
If you were LSU, would you pay Drink makes $9 million at Missouri? Would you pay him $11 million to be the LSU coach?
I mean, I think that you're getting to a point now where if it's $11 million for 3 years or something, 4 years, like I think we're going to get to a point where we start paying these coaches more money up front, which is crazy to think, but less money on the back end and less longer deals. Right, like Ross Dellinger had a great tweet about it. And he was talking to somebody, I believe, that was about like in the entertainment industry, and they said, "Listen, like, why not pay more money up front? And there's less of a hey, if it just didn't work out, it didn't work out, right? And instead of being saddled by these things, and in the past, you used to need 4 or 5 years for a recruiting cycle. Yeah. Well, Kurt Cignetti didn't need that.
Great point.
Clark Lee didn't need that. They're college football playoff potential teams, like." If you can't show where you're at by year 3, I don't know if it ever is going to turn that way.
Great point. It may be harder to lure a coach away from a spot where they are presently, but it is true. Like, you no longer need the 4 or 5 year commitment to recruit because players aren't going to be there 4 or 5 years anyway.
I mean, that's 30. Like, you say $12 million, you're like, oh God, I want to puke when I hear that. But I'm like, all right, if it's a $36 million deal, over 3 years, well, then you're not going to, if you're willing to renegotiate that and give them a contract extension, that means things are going probably pretty well. And $12 million is probably the going rate. I just don't know how many people are going to sit there and go, all right, I'll take the deal for $4 million a year and incentive based. LSU could be one of those blue bloods. I just don't know if that's the case.
All right. Who's going to win the SEC?
I mean, listen, it pains me as a guy that disliked A&M growing up for what they did to us in the early 90s. I think they're legit. I've been saying that on this show and on my show for a long, long time. Like, Mike Elko reminds me of Teddy Roosevelt. Like, he's going to come out there and he's going to, club you and not give a damn. And I mean, that fake punt when they were up 21-7 was just, diabolical. It was just like, it was wild. And I can't bet on anybody other than that. I mean, Georgia still got the DNA. I think I would be more afraid of Georgia right now than I am A&M or Alabama, rather. I don't think Alabama could run the ball. And Georgia's starting to kind of get that little look. I don't think they're Ohio State 2024, but they're getting bigger, better, and stronger each week, and they know how to win.
A guy dropping a Teddy Roosevelt reference. I mean, that's why you come here. You get Teddy Roosevelt.
Can't tell me he doesn't remind you of, like, Teddy Roosevelt didn't give 0 Fs. Like, he was just like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to tear it up. Like, he went to war once, basically, like, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. This goes back to when I was watching, like, all these Ken Burns documentary. Just because he wanted to, like, ride with the Rough Riders. Like, he's like, screw it. We're going to create some type of thing because I want to lead troops into battle because I want to wear the uniform. Like, Mike Elko strikes me as that dude.
Real talk, I just need to brush up on my World War I history. I'm just not there right
Battle of Verdun. Just go in the Battle of Verdun.
Yeah, I'm just rusty. I haven't been in a history class in 25 years, and I don't watch the History Channel. So I'm not saying you're wrong. It just wasn't a reference I was expecting, and I appreciate it. That's all.
Yeah, it's fair.
He's Peter Burns, at Peter Burns ESPN. Go follow him, and go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, BlueDeltaJeans.com. Thank you, dude.
See you, boys.
See you. Peter Burns. Speaking of coaches and money and all that, I want to talk about Brian Kelly's buyout when we come back, because apparently Brian Kelly passed on a couple of settlement offers, which, by the way, I told you the day after he was fired. We just now have definition to it. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com, and they always have great deals. always going to get you the best price on the best tire. Lowest price on the best tires. Like right now, through December the 9th, you can get $80 back when you buy a set of 4 select Michelin tires. You can also get free installation, which is a $118 value when you use your Shawbills credit card. So visit ShawbillsTire.com for details and to shop Michelin tires. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Offers valid September 24th through December 9th. Void where prohibited. Subject to credit approval. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, quick break. When we're back, Brian Kelly passing on settlement offers. I'll give you the deets as to what happened and why and where they go from here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Tigers back at home this weekend, which means Tigers on Friday will be at Renaissance Baton Rouge. Of course, every Friday before the home football games, LSU, they get out of Dodge. They're not going to stay on campus. But they go move on in to Renaissance Baton Rouge because they have tons of space for all of their team meetings and the position group meetings. And they got tons of hotel rooms as well, guest rooms as well, for the entire team, coaching staff, support staff, all that sort of stuff. So you want to see the Tigers? You can see them Friday at Renaissance Baton Rouge. And when you have an event coming up, maybe in 2026 you're planning an event, think Renaissance Baton Rouge. Allison Crump, the event coordinator for both Renaissance and Watermark, she can help you out. And I love what she always says. We're in the business of saying yes. They'll manipulate their space to fit whatever size event you have. Right there on Blue Bonnet, it's Renaissance Baton Rouge. Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Big shout out, as always, to Brandon Holly, the great team over at Relief Windows. Woke up this morning, temps in the upper 30s. Better believe energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows will help keep your home climate controlled during the cold weather months. Get that free estimate today from Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. There was a report today from The Advocate via Freedom of Information Records request that Brian Kelly rejected 2 settlement offers. Now, if you listen to the show, that should come as no surprise because we actually told you that the Monday after Brian Kelly was fired. What we know now via this Advocate report is the amount of those offers. So, what I want to do is take a quick second here and kind of explain this process, because what a lot of people have asked is, well, why would Brian Kelly accept a settlement? And then what would that mean for the opportunity to hire a new coach and all that sort of stuff? So I'll dive into that a little bit. Let me kind of recount how that day went. And by the way, you've now heard from Verge Osbury on this show, Gordon McKernan on this show. Remember, Gordon told us last week he was at the meeting at the governor's mansion when they were discussing the buyout. The governor called a meeting where Gordon was there, Verge was there, Scott Ballard was there, and there were other people who I'm going to assume at this point want to remain anonymous, and that's fine. If word comes out or they're willing to say that, that's okay. But what we've been able to decipher as the day has gone along, and then certainly Brian Kelly's email a week ago to Scott Woodward, Verge Osbury, Julie Cromer, and Austin Thomas, what that certainly revealed were 2 things. One, a very respectful tone. So the report of this contentious meeting was fabricated. I have no idea where that came from, because I feel like at this point I've spoken to all but one of the people that were in that meeting, and at least one of the people that I know were in that meeting. And they've all said the same thing, that it was very respectful. No, well, 2 people that were in that meeting. That it was respectful, it was not contentious, and so on. And that Kelly is open to a settlement of his buyout. So here's what we know from The Advocate. So The Advocate, via records request, found that the lump sum payment offered to Brian Kelly was $25 million, which Kelly rejected. And then Julie Cromer, LSU's executive deputy AD, increased that settlement offer to $30 million in 2 payments, which is what I was told, that it was a lump sum in 2 payments. So 15 and 15. And Brian Kelly rejected that as well. So that day went like this. Scott Woodward called the meeting with Brian Kelly. We know as of now that meeting was the people who we just talked about. It was Scott Woodward, Burge Osbury, Austin Thomas, Julie Cromer, Brian Kelly. They advised Brian Kelly that he's being fired. 5-minute meeting, very cordial. Kelly leaves. Short time later, he sends that email that we read last week, where Kelly was asking, do you want me to come get my stuff? Do you want to have it sent to me? And he says, as we discussed, I'm open to a settlement of the contract that has to make sense financially. Okay. Short time after that, on that Sunday, Brian Kelly's agent, Trace Armstrong, gets involved, obviously, to negotiate this settlement. That's when the governor was made aware of the firing, the buyout, and then called the meeting at the governor's mansion that Gordon McKernan referred to. And that's what started the firestorm of all of the buyout talks with the governor and led to everything that happened last week. What's important to know about why Brian Kelly would accept a settlement. Remember, the best way to explain it is like if you win the Powerball, everyone takes the lump sum instead of the annuity. You take a lesser amount, but you get it all right now instead of annual payments for the rest of your life. Now, this wouldn't be for the rest of Brian Kelly's life. This would be over the remainder of the contract. So he can continue getting $800,000 over the remainder of his contract for 6 years, roughly $800K a month for the remaining 6 years, or he could take a lesser amount and get it all right now. But what that lesser amount is what they'd have to negotiate. So the advocate found this information that Kelly rejected $25 million lump sum and a $30 million lump sum in 2 payments. And I don't blame him. He's owed $54 million. Why would you take 25 or 30? Roughly half that number. So how much higher would they have to get for him to take a lesser amount? The reason that he would take a lesser amount, of course, is to get the lump sum, to not have to wait 6 years to get the totality of your money, but also remember there's mitigation in his contract. So if Brian Kelly gets another coaching job, his buyout is reduced by his new salary. And that's not only coaching, that's also media. So if he goes and gets a media job that pays him $1 million a year, I don't know if that would be accurate. I'm just throwing out a hypothetical, right? Well, now his buyout is reduced by that $1 million per year, right? So if you look at over the duration of that buyout period, his buyout number is reduced by that number. Would it be smarter to just take all of your money? And then what if he coaches again? What if he coaches and gets a $5 million a year contract or a $3.5 million a year contract? Well, now you're significantly cutting in to the buyout number. And so it might actually behoove you to take a settlement, because if you coach again and get paid more, then your buyout over the 6 years might end up being less than what that settlement is. So that's why you have to negotiate in these terms. He could just sit there and sit on the sidelines for 6 years, not work, and get paid $800K a month over the next 6 years by LSU. But if he wants to work again, whatever he makes, that $53 million will be reduced by that amount. So that's why it makes sense to agree to a settlement, because you could end up making less in the settlement, less not settling if you intend to work again than if you had gone and got another job. Like Ed Ogeron, for example, didn't work again. Ed has not worked since he got fired by LSU in 2021. So he now, this December, is the final payment that'll go to Ed on his $17 million buyout. So he sat and has gotten paid since he was fired. That's the big question that we don't know. is Brian Kelly going to work again? Does he want to work again? If he does want to work again, be it coaching or television or whatever he may do, it may benefit him to take less. And from an LSU perspective, obviously, you'd rather Brian Kelly take less than the $54 million buyout, $54 million buyout that he's owed. You'd rather pay him less, even if it meant doing it up front in a lump sum, than continuing to pay him for 6 years and be on the books for the next 6 years. So that's kind of where it falls. Well, eventually they'll find some happy medium here. What Gordon told us last week, and if you missed that conversation, I would highly recommend you go check it out. It's on podcast and YouTube everywhere. Just search AFR LSU podcast or YouTube, and you'll find the full interview with Gordon. But, what Gordon told us on the record, and what I've been told from other people who were in that meeting at the governor's mansion off the record, and the governor alluded to it as well, is that they were in no rush to get to a settlement with Brian Kelly. Like, they're willing to be patient. Kelly, if he wants to work again, is the one who might be in more of a rush. So if you're LSU and you're willing to be patient, keep paying him the $800K a month, then, and Kelly gets to a point where he wants to work again, it may benefit him then to just agree to a settlement, take a lump sum so he can go move on and coach again at whatever that contract number will be. That's what happened with Les Miles. Les was being paid his buyout monthly, and then ultimately he got the Kansas job, so they settled the remainder of his buyout, and then he went to work at Kansas. So in this coming coaching carousel here in November, December, if you want this to reach finality, then you want Brian Kelly to work again. You want him to get a job somewhere, because that will expedite the buyout of, or I guess the settlement of his buyout is a way to say it. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I did a great job of explaining that, but suffice to say, LSU's in no hurry. They'd rather keep paying him $800K, banking on the fact that Kelly eventually will get a job which will mitigate that buyout, or force Kelly into negotiating a lesser number so that he could just go on and coach wherever the next place will be. So cheer for Brian Kelly to get another job is the long and the short of it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Hey, I told you this last week we launched, and I'm excited about this. Me and my partners over at Parish Construction and Roofing, we've done some real fun marketing promotion ideas with with cash giveaways and stuff. But we thought around the holidays we were going to do something that was just not a marketing ploy. We just wanted to do something philanthropic and help maybe some families who are less fortunate have a better Christmas. And so we're calling it the 12 Days of Christmas. Creative, I know. But what we did was we at Parish decided we're gonna choose 12 families, and we're gonna give them each $1,000 to spend on their Christmas. And then we had 3 other great businesses join us. Our friends over at Duplessis Builders, Derek Duplessis and his team, awesome people. They matched our $1,000. So each family that wins is going to get $2,000. And then Ruckus stepped up and offered shoes for the families that we choose. So there are 12 families that the family's going to get new shoes, courtesy of Ruckus. And then Chris's Specialty Foods stepped up and said, well, look, we'll pitch in Christmas dinner. So every family that's chosen, we're going to choose 12. Each family is going to get $1,000 from Parish Construction and Roofing, $1,000 from Duplessis Builders, shoes from Ruckus, and Christmas dinner courtesy of Chris's Specialty Foods. If you know a family that maybe you're struggling, maybe it's your family, that could use a little cheer and a little help this Christmas, we're excited to be able to help 12. We wish we could help 1,200, but we're going to help 12 families have a brighter Christmas. So it's easy to enter. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. At the top of the homepage, you'll see the tab where you can go enter, and you'll see all of the the regulations and all the sort of stuff. But bottom line is, we're excited to be able to help a dozen families in our area have a much happier Christmas, and we're excited to help. So please share that link if you know someone or nominate a family that could maybe use a little help this Christmas. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. It's right there at the top of the homepage. All right. It's After Further Review. Let me knock out a break, y'all. We'll come back. Kellen Moore met with reporters here on Monday after the Saints get a road win in Carolina. How about Tyler Shuck? What a debut. Talked about that last hour. If you want to get my thoughts on Shuck, you can get it on demand. AFR on demand, either on podcast or on YouTube. We'll do that as we continue. And in 30 minutes, we'll talk about Frank Wilson's his comments about what LSU's plan moving forward at quarterback is going to be. We'll get to that again here at the top of hour number 3. We're glad you're with us on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Hey, you want to feel your best? Goodwood can help. Maybe say, Matt, I don't have ED. Okay. But as we age, every one of us, our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. Do you have great waking energy? Are you lethargic at the end of the day? Do you struggle to find the motivation to get in the gym? If you do get in the gym, do you get results? Do you burn fat? Do you build muscle like you did when you were in your 20s? Like, that's possible again. Great libido, that's possible again with hormone replacement therapy. A simple blood test lets you know if you're a candidate. It's totally affordable, safe, and if you're already on HRT, one of the reasons to switch to Goodwood, not only have the lowest prices, but they also pick up the expense of your blood labs every 6 months. They're awesome. So visit yourgoodwood.com to set up that consultation. yourgoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Hey, remember on Wednesday when we did our opposing media interview with our buddy Julian Council from Locked On Panthers? And one of the questions I always like to ask when we have a guest on that covers another team, I like to ask, like, what's the blueprint for that team to win? It just kind of gives you an idea of, from the perspective of someone who covers that team, who knows a lot about them, like what they think the path would be for that team to win the game. And I asked Julian Council what the Panthers' blueprint would be to beat the Saints. Remember what he said?
Take care of your business. Just show up, honestly. If we looked at how New Orleans has played this season.
Just show up. I mean, I love my guy. All right. Known Julian a long time. Seen him at SEC Media Days for years. I mean, just show up in the NFL is never really a good option. I mean, I don't know if you know, but are the Miami Dolphins having a good season?
No, they're not.
Oh, really? They got Tua. And, the coach that wears the jeggings.
Yeah, they do.
With that comes mid-calf.
Yeah, and you'd think that'd be
and
enough.
The glasses.
Yeah.
Young guy.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, looks like he works in IT. Yeah.
Devon A-Chain from A&M.
Good running back, man.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
They're no good?
No, they're 3-7.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're no good.
No good.
Yeah. Hey, are the Buffalo Bills having a good season?
Bills are pretty good, yeah.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Remember when the Bills stunk?
Yes.
Yeah. But they're good now.
Good. Josh Allen, man, really kind of turned around. Sean McDermott. Yeah. Good franchise, good organization.
Didn't they play yesterday?
They played each other. Yeah, they did.
How did that go?
Miami won 30-13.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. That's.
So the really bad team beat the really good team?
Handedly, yeah.
So apparently Buffalo didn't show up?
Doesn't look like it.
If they had just shown up, they probably would have won. Because that's all you got to do, right?
Some would say that, yes.
Just show up. I mean, like, if we were talking about a great team, like if we were talking about Tom Brady's Patriots against the same old sorry-ass Jets for all those years, okay. I kind of get it. Like, just show up. It's probably gonna go your way. Like, the Panthers aren't good. I mean, respect. Like, didn't you learn the week prior the danger of just showing up?
When Carolina, sorry-ass Carolina, went up to Green Bay and won 16-13? That's the danger of just thinking you're just going to show up. It's the NFL, man. Just show up.
That's tough.
I kind of want to we pulled the audio. I don't know if when he said that, if I was on camera. Paulie, do you know, like, if I was on, if we had Julian's still up? Because I kind of want to see what my facial reaction was during that. Is just show up. I think you and I were both kind of like,
yeah, because
looking at each other.
Because it's any given Sunday. How many times do we have to hear that every year?
It's the NFL, bro.
Like, I mean, whenever you say that, your ears do perk up because it's like, wait, what?
Did he just say?
Yeah, what?
The Carolina Panthers.
Especially the Panthers, really.
The Panthers who got dusted by New England 42-13, who got run over by Buffalo 40-9. I mean, lost to the Cardinals. They're no good. I mean, Saints lost to the Cardinals too, but the Saints aren't any good.
Yes.
Anyway. The moral of the story is, if you're ever doing a radio interview and someone asks you what the blueprint is for your team to win, I wouldn't go with just show up. That's liable to bite you. Shout out to Julian Council, though. Locked on Panthers. Good dude. Terrible answer. Awful answer to the question. Great dude. And really good at his job. It's possible to be really good at what you do and to give an awful answer. That's a guy who's really good at what he does and gave an awful answer to that question. Kellen Moore, by the way.
Kellen Moore.
He met with reporters on Monday, was asked if Sunday was the team's most complete performance of the year. Here's what he said.
I felt like it was nice to see complementary football in three phases working together. Certainly you saw that with just the way that thing played out. And so I felt like it was one of our cleaner games, protecting the football, creating turnovers, playing a physical game in all three phases. So hopefully something we can build on.
The biggest conversation point, though, obviously, is about Tyler Shuck. So my feeling, I think, about Shuck's day is probably like a lot of you had. I'm not sitting here ready to coronate Tyler Shuck as a Hall of Famer or even as the Saints' future starter, as the franchise. What I think is undeniable out of Sunday is you saw enough there to say, oh, that could be something. His ability to move in the pocket, keep his eyes downfield. Certainly the arm strength clearly is there. The accuracy on the deep ball to Chris Olave. Man, the play on the 52-yarder to Juwan Johnson, the catch and run. He avoided about three different would-be defenders. Really protected the football. I mean, all check, all the way through that. Well, what about after they watched the film? Here was Ellen on Monday. Hit him.
Kellen Moore.
After they watched the film.
Yeah, I thought there's a lot of positives. Every game's going to have some opportunities that we're going to want to get back, and that everyone falls in the same boat for that. I think there's a lot of positives there. I thought the hard downs, the third downs, I thought were a huge factor in the offense yesterday. I thought he made some incredible plays moving in the pocket, guys staying alive, and so he delivered downfield, made some big plays. Even the touchdown to Juwan. I mean, I think they said after the game that was like his third or fourth progression. Like Ross Jackson wrote about this at Louisiana Sports, and like that ball wasn't supposed to go to Juwan, but he went through his third, fourth progression. I mean, that shows. You're talking about a guy that's 26 years old, man, played 7 years of college football. He's been around a long time and had the opportunity for the first 2 months of the season to sit and watch, and maybe that benefited him. Now the Saints go into their bye, an opportunity to rest, to continue to grow there with Shuck as the starter and see how they do in a home game against the Falcons, where I can assure you they will have to do more than just show up. By the way, on third down, the Saints were 8 of 17 on third down on Sunday against the Panthers. The Panthers were 3 of 9 on third down. All right, we're brought to you by Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Drink Evermore. It's a healthier alternative. It's natural artesian water. If you're an elite athlete that needs better hydration, you're a parent, you want a better option for your children, for your family. I mean, I tell you all the time, purge tap water out of your life. I've done it. Evermore is an awesome option. Get the 64-ounce bottles. I drink 2 of those every day. Pour it in your Keurig if you make coffee like I do. And it's a Louisiana product, y'all, with national distribution. So even if you're listening or watching outside of Baton Rouge or outside of Louisiana,
Go to evermore.com, hit the Find a Store tab, type in your zip code, and just like that, it'll show you what store is near you where you can find Evermore. EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right. Muse will do Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 when we come back. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. We will after the top of the hour. So do Tigers and the Pros. We'll get to Sports Center. And then when we come back on Monday during his press conference, Frank Wilson kind of gave an update on the quarterback position. We know that there's a full-on quarterback controversy now, a 2-quarterback system, all that stuff. So Frank went through it, was peppered with 4 or 5 questions about the quarterbacks Monday. We'll let you know what he said and kind of how I think it's all going to play out here as we move forward for the remainder of the season. We'll do that coming up after the top of the hour. Stick around here on AFR.
After further review.
Maybe your gift to your family this Christmas is going to be a new pool. Wouldn't that be awesome? Duplessis Builders can help. Go to duplessisbuilders.net. Start there, duplessisbuilders.net. You can pop into the showroom. I highly recommend that to begin with. If you want to go meet with Derek or one of their associates at the showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville, you could do it right next to Rouse's on Airline and Duplessis Lane, incidentally. Easy way to remember it. duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. But you may think, man, I don't know if I can afford a pool. Well, first of all, Duplessis has financing for any budget, but they also have a pool for any budget. Go to duplessisbuilders.net. They can build you the big, giant, beautiful custom pool with any feature amenity you want. Same with the outdoor kitchens. But they have ready-made models, 11 different ones that you can choose from starting at $49,000. So go to duplessisbuilders.net to check it out today. duplessisbuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
Wrapping up hour number 2. A lot to get to. Coming up after Sports Center, Frank Wilson, Nussmeier, Van Buren, that controversy. We'll let you know the plan coming up. We got bold projections out there. Who? Yeah, we'll get to that as well. Our college football takeaways. A lot to do right now, though. Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Joe Burrow is getting over the toe.
You don't have a toe anymore?
Well, he's still got the toe, but he's getting over the toe.
Okay.
See, Joe Burrow returned to practice on Monday, officially opening his 21-day window. Still on IR, was just limited, but was out there after having surgery on the toe. Burrow spoke with the media as well. Said that a return on Thanksgiving Day against the Ravens on the 27th would be meaningful to him, very meaningful. You remember he suffered a season-ending wrist injury in Baltimore on a November primetime game as well. Said, look, it's a lot that goes into it, a lot of variables. He also didn't rule out the team's overall record factoring into the decision. Remember, the Bengals stink. They're 3-6. But Joey B, if he wants to play, they're going to let him play. You know that. Burrow getting over the toe. Long journey back for our guy.
From the toe?
From the toe. A guy who didn't have a toe is Danielle Hunter. And
never had a toe?
No, but the Jacksonville Jaguars might have wished he had a toe yesterday. 7 tackles, 3.5 sacks.
Wow.
For Danielle Hunter.
Can't do that if you got a toe.
You can't. He added another tackle for a loss of the game. He's up to 7.5 sacks on the season now. That is good for a top 10 ranking in the NFL. Derek Stingley Jr. for the Texans, also really solid. An interception. That was his 3rd of the year. That's top 5 in the NFL to go along with 2 stops and an additional pass defense.
No toe?
No toe for
Good.
Derek Stingley Jr. either.
Good.
Yeah, thank goodness. No. We need him to continue to stay healthy. Patrick Queen, no toe, 12 tackles in that abomination of Sunday Night Football in the loss to the Chargers, but leading tackler in the game, actually, Patrick Queen. So shout out to him. And then one NBA note here, Naz Reid.
Should have stayed.
13-4 last night, 25 minutes, all of that off the bench. 33% from three-point range, so he was awesome again. And the Timberwolves scored 144 points. Goodness gracious. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. What's today? November the 10th. Muse, you're running out of time to go by Lee Michaels to get that ring before you pop the question. Running out of time, Muse.
Well, all right.
Counting down the days.
We do love Lee Michaels.
Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best. They've been helping Louisianians get engaged for 4 decades, kind of like Muse. So thrill her with a gift in the red box. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. Great selection, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience, no matter your budget. Don't have any apprehension. They know most people don't buy jewelry every day. They're aware of that, so they're going to make you comfortable when you walk in the door. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You can even schedule that with one of their associates, that appointment with one of their associates at the website at lmfj.com, lmfj.com, for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. SportsCenter's coming up. We'll get you caught up on national headlines. Been a busy show already, recapping LSU's loss to Bama, the Saints win against the Panthers. That's all on demand, presented by Breck Golf. If you missed it, you can get it on podcast or on YouTube. When we come back, Frank Wilson updates the future of the quarterback position at LSU.
AFR.
Supper Club is closed today, but my goodness, can't wait for them to reopen tomorrow, and we are steamrolling toward the holidays. Hey, if you're going to have a Christmas party, remember, you can have that party at Supper Club, but we're getting kind of late now to make those reservations. And no matter the size of the party, like Brandon was telling me, they've had companies rent out the entire building. So if you want to have a party for your entire office, organization, clients, whatever, you can do that at Supper Club. They obviously need advance notice if they're going to shut down and all that sort of stuff. But if you want the particulars, give them a shout. Go to supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Maybe you just want the private room. I think my birthday at Supper Club a couple years ago, family, I think we had maybe 16 in the private room. There's tons of options no matter the size of your party. It's always a great place to celebrate. It's Supper Club. Supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com.